da. Lär vi höra rimus da. Roma invicta. Ad gloria, ad fortitudinem, fidelitatem et victoriam a Roma. Sumus melius cunctis, ad gloria, ad fumulus nihil et mors a Roma. Fallimur carissima. Sol non praesumet ave calcior in auribus meis urbem diligimus, et omnia eius edixit apud Valerius, et mulieres in oculis Zaccae annos agimus, ubi optamus es sepulcri Roma invicta. Roma invicta. Quid sit Romae res pepico est tonus procenos imperial. Quid sit Romae in manus eorum, nos pugnabimus imperial sed resistimus. Roma invicta. Roma invicta. Roma invicta. Roma invicta. Lär vi höra rimus da. Lär vi höra rimus da. Roma invicta. Ad gloria, ad fortitudinem, fidelitatem et victoriam a Roma. Sumus melius cunctis, ad gloria, ad fumulus nihil et mors a Roma. Fallimur carissima. Sol non praesumet ave calcior in auribus meis urbem diligimus, et omnia eius edixit apud Valerius, et mulieres in oculis Zaccae annos agimus, ubi optamus es sepulcri Roma invicta. Roma invicta. Quid sit Romae res pepico est tonus procenos imperial. Quid sit Romae in manus eorum, Regnabimus, imperial sed resistimus, Roma invicta. Roma invicta. Roma invicta. Roma invicta. Larvi horrerimus da. Larvi horrerimus da.
Highway Legionnaires, how's it going? How's it going? Oh, there we go. Clicked on the wrong one there. That's my bad. Oh, it has been a hell of a week. Glad I'm doing something a little bit simple tonight here. Just have a bit of a chill stream here. Eating and drinking some weird shit. So, based on the recommendation of a certain Andre, I am going to be trying this here. Let me get that picked up. There we go. We're going to be doing red wine. Sorry, it's a semi-dry red wine with Coca-Cola. Apparently, it is not bad. I don't know if I trust him on that, but we shall see. Oh, God help me. God fucking help me. Okay. I have to make sure I get it equally measured here. Apparently that is very important. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, we'll just do 2/3 of a cup. I think it'd be good. And I'm actually be the whole thing here. And now let's just do the whole can of Coke. Fuck it. That puts us up to 200 milliliters, it looks like. That was gonna be a full glass. Gonna be a very full glass. Oh, this is so stupid. All right, 200 milliliters. Oh, that is a ruby red. I don't know. Actually, I should try the wine first. Shit, I should have done that. Oh well. I don't want to drink out of plastic, but let's test the wine here first. Yep. Okay. Semi-dry. It's actually not too bad. I'm not like a wine connoisseur, so to speak. I know my wine's an okay-ish amount. That's not bad. Let's see if this ruins it here. Well, you can't really tell the difference pouring it. Oh, that is a full... Oh, the glass is entirely full now. Oh, good lord. Okay. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. A little extra top off on the wine there. Oh god. Yeah, let's get a picture of this. Oh man. It doesn't really look any different. It's just like slightly darker. No, Google, just upload it. It's fine. Sync it up. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't actually look all that impressive, honestly. But yeah, we'll do this one. This is slightly less blurry. Let me get this one cleaned up here. I think yeah, this one is, yeah, we're running out of real estate. This is coming at a premium here, so let's downsize some of these images here. All right, back there, looks good. Okay. Now let me work on the framing here for this beautiful picture here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the microphone in there. I like the glow it leaves on top. It's eerie looking. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we fucking go. Stalling. I don't trust this. I don't trust this at all. Okay, fuck it. Coca-Cola mixed with the semi-dry red wine. Let's go. Whoa. What the fuck? I don't know what to think of this. This is bizarre. It's not good. Let's disabuse that notion right now. This is not good. It's not terrible. I'm more negative leaning, but it's like a neutral that is so slightly off. It's like a 4.99 level. I can't say it is directly in the center here. It is not completely average. It is a slightly below average experience, but it is so slightly off that it feels. It is so close to just being like a what a strange but okay thing. I might get this once in a while. Wow. Maybe it's the wine choice? If we had our resident Romanian wine expert in here, he could tell me if I made the bad choice. The wine store I went to was not super helpful. They're not one of those wine stores that has the sommelier on staff to help you find things. It's a store that has a wine selection in it. It used to be a lot nicer, but it kind of went downhill over the years. Huh. That is okay. Ooh. Huh. I mean, I'm still drinking it. It's not disgusting, but it's just I'm not used to drinking caffeine this late in the day, so I need to drink it now so I can go to bed at a reasonable time. That's kind of the main thing going on there. Man. Okay. Oh. Ave Andre, did you catch it? Did you catch my sample in there? The Andre experience, yes. So I should ask you then, since you were here, you can see the bottle of wine I have on here. I wasn't entirely sure what to get because you said to do like a semi-dry kind of wine, and the wine store I have in my area is not great. They don't have a sommelier on staff to help you pick stuff out. So I did some Googling, and it said this is a kind of sort of semi-dry wine. It's what's a Grenache? And I did the equal parts mix. I followed instructions, and this is like it is an almost 5 out of 10. I'm giving it like a 4.9. Like it is. I'm drinking it. I'm gonna keep drinking it, but it's just slightly off. Not bad. Yes, it is. It is not bad, but I'm also gonna say it's not good either. It is almost a 5. Like, it's to the point where I think if I did get like the perfect wine for it, it might be like a 5 out of 5. We are getting very close to that territory. It's mostly just kind of weird because like the flavors, the Coke, the sugariness of the Coke, the acidity of the wine, everything mixes together in a weird way. I'm not sure what to think of it exactly. Like, I'm drinking it and I'm not repulsed by it at all. And I'm continuing to drink it, but that's just because alcohol, and then, you know, I got caffeine. I'm trying to not drink a bunch of caffeine too late because I tend to go to bed pretty early, and caffeine will fuck me up if I'm not careful. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Yes, unsure of how you feel, but I'm still going to have more. I don't want to have more, but I'm having more. I think that's the best way to put it. It is a very unique experience. I will say that. So the next one, which I felt like would be appropriate to mix with the wine and the Coke here, as some of you know, I have my weekly collabs with Poseidon TCG, and the ongoing tradition with David Cage games is that we would find some really gross, disgusting meme food, preferably from a fast food place, and preferably it had something to do with Oreo cookies. If we couldn't find it, Oreo cookie, fine. We would just do something gross from fast food. We kind of got out of that because we finished the most recent David Cage game we had, and it does kind of drain on you to eat a bunch of fast food. But McDonald's has been pushing this thing, the special edition gold sauce. They are very insistent upon it. I have seen it everywhere, and it's like, well, it's not like crazy level of meme. Yeah, it's just the sauce. Yeah, it's not a crazy meme, but it's something. It's fast food. So it's just a sauce. And if you're not familiar with kind of like, it's not exactly an Americanism, but it's sort of like an American thing. It's actually more of a regional thing. Because like barbecue is very popular in the United States, but very, very popular in kind of like the Mid-South and the South. There's a very big barbecue culture. And gold sauce, in most connotations, if you hear that in America, would refer to golden barbecue sauce, which is a mustard-based sauce. Obviously, they're really selling the, like, it's gold, wow, it's, like, so premium, and it's like, yeah, it's going to be a honey mustard barbecue sauce, essentially. But cheese sauce, that's actually a good guess, because, like, yeah, like golden cheese or something like that. So what I did is I didn't get the sandwich. I didn't get the chicken sandwich, but I got a wrap and I got the chicken nuggets because there was a very good deal if I got them on the app. The chicken sandwich, dude, it is $8.50 for the deluxe one. That's the cheaper one because I'm gonna get the deluxe. I want it with all the veggies on it. I want a big old sandwich. The other one was like $7.60 or some shit. $8.50 for a fucking sandwich. So no, I'm not getting that one. If there's like a better deal for it that comes down the line, sure. But there was a good deal on these two, so I grabbed them. Yeah. Just go to BK and get a real. Ugh. Andre, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you, but American Burger King is awful. You could not pay me to eat at American Burger King unless they had a really good mean meal, and Poseidon and I were gonna do that to torture ourselves. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Okay, so that there's like a whole conversation here with this. America, we invented fast food. We should be the kings of it. But there are so many terrible fast food joints that, like, we just sort of are willing to accept being terrible in America, but are amazing overseas. And it's total bullshit. We invented this, but, like, and we have some good ones. We do. We have some good fast food places, but a lot of them are pure garbage. They're so bad. Burger King is pretty notorious because they have, like, weird, gross, like, rubbery meat, and they add, like, smoke flavoring to it. They don't actually charbroil it like they say they do. They just add artificial smoke flavoring, and then they do some weird thing to produce, like, fake smoke in the restaurants to give it that smell outside. It's nonsense, but yeah. I imagine it's pretty good over there. A quick aside as my food gets cold here, but I think it's an interesting topic. Your standards there are low, here out in the country higher. Oh, no. Well, okay. Yes and no. Our standards are low, but the thing is, a lot of Americans are getting sick of particular restaurants for being so bad, and those restaurants are dying because of it. So we do have some standards. It's just the standards are not that high. They should be higher. Which actually segues nicely into the next one I was going to bring up, which is KFC. Now, I'm curious, Andre, what would you say? Do you have Kentucky Fried Chicken in Romania? I'm curious, if you do have it, what's your experience like? Give me a numerical experience. Give me a brief assessment of how you feel about it. Recently got Wendy's. Yeah, Wendy's isn't too bad. Yeah. But I am curious about what you think about KFC. Yeah, Wendy's is fine. They're fine. I don't mind. KFC is good. Interesting. Okay, so this is one of those things that I think is really fascinating, but also sad. KFC distinctive taste. Huh. Okay. So there's a great video. In fact, we might watch it here because this is gonna just be a yap session tonight. And this might be a fun video to watch, but there is a amazing video about the rise and fall, well, mostly the fall of KFC, which started out as this like American institution, really like the original guy, the Colonel, who was actually the guy who ran the place for a long time. He eventually became a figurehead, but he gave a shit. That dude was very focused on high quality chicken, amazing recipe, all that stuff. And then it got bought out by Yum Foods, and it just became a slop farm. Like, just the lowest quality, rubbery, disgusting, ultra greasy chicken. And it became this place where you would only go if you had no other options, or you were very old and still thought it tasted good because you had fond memories of KFC in the 1990s or the 2000s. Actually, no, just the 1990s. 2000s is when it started to go bad. And it sucks because I had very good memories of KFC as a little centurion. My grandma took me there a lot, had some really wonderful meals there, and over time it just got to be suckier and suckier and suckier. And KFC, well, without burying the lead too much, was really awful for a long time. Got better, but we're not there yet. What was sad to find out was that KFC International is amazing. Everywhere you look, whether it's in Malaysia or Thailand or Japan, or fucking like anywhere in Europe, in fucking Northern Africa, anywhere you go, everyone raves about how good KFC is, because they typically use like local chickens, and they have like really good what do you want to call it? They're good at understanding local cultures and what are good like regional tastes and stuff like that. Everywhere people just gush about KFC. So a couple of years ago, I went to visit a couple friends in the Netherlands, and I had KFC there, and kind of just got like a big thing of chicken nuggets, because we were eating a lot of other food, and I wanted to just mostly stick with like Dutch food. So we got a big old thing of chicken nuggets and got like every sauce on the menu and just tried them out. And I was like, man, I said to my friend, I was just like, man, this is really sad. This reminds me of KFC in the 90s and how good it was. And like the sauces, like the regular sauces that are in America, are a little bit better. They're a little bit better. And then the unique sauces you guys have are pretty damn good too. And it just hurt my heart a little bit. It's like, man, this sucks. We used to have it so good there. But then recently KFC came out. Actually, let me see if I can find a picture of it. It's cool. They are. Let's see, the Colonel. No, what was it? Colonel Frowning. Hang on. Of course, Facebook, their image is super blurry. We also had Popeyes, which really like here. So I've never had Popeyes myself. Popeyes has a very certain reputation in the United States. There are certain jokes I would make, but Twitch. But yeah, it is known for having very good food, but terrible service to the point of like you kind of just don't want to go there if you can avoid it. But the food's really good. Food is very, very tasty. Let's grab one. Grab this one too. This is fun. So KFC, after the big backlash, after the past 10 years, 20 years of things just absolutely falling apart, they started doing this is their new ad campaign. Yeah, it's a mess. It's fine. So this is them being like, hey, we know our chicken is shit. We know our food is just awful. The surface is terrible. The floors are always messy. There's always a homeless drug addict bleeding out in the bathrooms. We get it. We're sorry. We're going to do better. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love when fast food places or anybody just sort of acknowledges like, yeah, look, we fucked up, okay? We get it. We're sorry about that. We goofed it big time. Domino's did that back in the day, and despite people still shitting on Domino's, I actually like Domino's pizza. I think they've done some major improvements. But yeah, this has been their new advertisement lately. It was just like, yeah, hey, the old man, he would have been pissed if he was still alive. He would be furious with us. We're gonna make things better. We're gonna make it right. And I've had the chicken recently. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. And they have some really good deals. So I get some KFC once in a while. But I love this kind of stuff. It's nice when there is like a giant corporate entity that doesn't just do the like, well, we're sorry if you feel this way about things, but we've had consumer studies done that shows that our chicken is the best chicken in the world by 17% margins. Just like, now, hey, look, we get it. Things have sucked. We're gonna make a change. It's appreciated. But let me see here. Oh my god, I've made an absolute mess of things. It's fine though. It's fine. There we go. Getting back to the original. So now I will try this. Oh my god, this is fair. Yeah, it's gotten a little bit cold. It's gotten a little cold. It's fine. In the world, the sides of the world are very indeed. There we go. So I'm gonna be doing the right now we are doing the chicken wrap in the middle, and I'm also gonna try the chicken nuggets, and then after that we have the Dubai chocolate, the thing that every weird vacant-eyed Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok influencer eats, because the place that we kind of have, like, I don't know what you call those, but like world food markets or like international markets or whatever, but they got on that and are selling them, and the guy who runs it, he's such a huckster. He is the most stereotypical like Middle Eastern merchant type imaginable. Like, oh, it always has the like, I give you a good price kind of thing. No, I got a hell of a deal on it. It was only $15 for a bar of fucking chocolate. Because yeah, like I mean, legitimately, like if you get the ones that are packaged and labeled from Dubai and all that, they're like $30. It's fucking insane for a bar of chocolate. So yeah, only $15 or $16. You can make it yourself and make it better. Of course. I get that. I understand it. But it's part of the experience. I have to get it from Dubai with all of the fucking little things they have on there that certifies it and all that shit. Otherwise, it's not a real Dubai chocolate bar or whatever. But yes, I imagine it is because it is just pistachio cream, chocolate, and then what is it's not wheat, it's phyllo, I think it's phyllo dough that's like shredded, something along those lines. So yeah, that'll be the next one after we do the McDonald's, and then I'm gonna do some Roman Posca afterwards. I think those are kind of the main ones. I was gonna go out and do a whole like Roman menu thing, but I've just not had the time or the energy this week. Things have just been nuts. So it's mostly a meme food celebration. Let's see here. I figured this would actually be interesting to do because I know internationally you can buy alcohol at most fast food places. Just tell you if you want Dubai chocolate, I'll put a sticker on it that says Dubai chocolate from Dubai 10% off. That's the smart thing to do. I should have done that. I should have just put a sticker on it. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's try it. Let's try this chicken wrap here. This looks just kind of okay. All right. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. Then read the dot row for Romania. Ah. So that's your country's abbreviation. Oh, interesting. Okay. But the snack wrap, yeah, not bad. It is indeed a McDonald's snack wrap. The cold sauce, yeah, kind of tangy, a little sweet. It honestly reminds me of like, honestly, just honey mustard, but like a little bit more bold. Like it's not anything wild. It is not anything particularly crazy, but it's not bad. I probably should have started with the chicken nuggets themselves to get a more baseline experience or whatever. That's fine. We'll do the chicken nuggets now. Oh yeah, these are a little stale now. It's fine though. It's fine. See here. Okay, now that I'm tasting the sauce just on its own with the chicken nugget, it's actually very smoky. Not bad. Not bad. This is the kind of sauce I would get once in a while. Not a crazy amount, but once in a while. So, Andre, or anybody in chat, what is your favorite McDonald's sauce? And that can be a local, regional, or national thing. Doesn't have to be like an international sauce. Okay. I need to try my Coke wine with it. Let's see how this mixes with the flavors. Why is that, like, actually pretty decent? Why is the chicken nuggets with the gold sauce and the Coke wine actually pretty good? What the hell? Dude, that elevates it to, like... Oh, wow. I think that actually elevates the Coke wine to, like, a 6. What the hell? Let's try again. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why does this work so well together? I don't understand, but I'll take it. Mm. All right. Okay. I'm very confused about this. Huh. Okay. Sometimes things that just don't seem like they would go together end up working really well. Hmm. All right, yeah, we might as well finish off at least the sauce packet here. McDonald's is very kind. They know this. They only give you like 2 sauce packets with an order of 10, but they gave me 4 for some reason. So it's like, hey, thanks, I appreciate it. Which is good because I got chicken nuggets in the freezer. And so it's like, hey, if I get extra sauce packets, I can just use it for that. It's handy. Hmm. Hmm. Wow, this is so strange. All right, yeah, I'll finish off the sauce packet here. Okay. Not a bad experience. It's a bit of a meme. That's pretty decent overall. Okay. We do a palate cleanser here. Oh, this is actually very hefty. I have my Dubai chocolate here. Let me get a picture of that up here. rearranged. Hmm. There we go. I think looks good. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't see a face. We don't have a face cam. Oh, well, it actually looks very pretty. We'll give him that. Yeah, no face cam of me doing the big dumb reaction, or just like stare, like gaping mouth, like whoa, look at this chocolate bar. You'll take my word for it. It's actually very pretty. Actually, no, I'll take a picture of it. Yeah, I could just take a picture. Damn it. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a nice angle. Very, very pretty looking. I actually do appreciate the artism that went into this. It's actually quite nice. Like the little drizzle on there. There was some effort that went into making it look, make it have that kind of nice presentation to it. Kunafa pistachio milk chocolate. All right. Yeah, no face cam, no hand cam. I know that the money shot is watching the influencer go and break the bar open, but I'll snap it. I'll snap it in front of the microphone here. Damn, that is hefty. All right, here we go. Oh, there's no sound. They always have sound on there. I wonder if they like add an effect or something. But yeah, you can kind of see the one on the top there. This one is actually way more appetizing than the one on the top. The one top there kind of looks like bad diarrhea. This actually has like a nice color and consistency to it. So yeah, let's give it a shot here. All right, that's like pretty decent. Nice, yeah, nice crunch to it. Chocolate has a different flavor profile than you would typically see with like an American chocolate. Nice, pleasant, different but pleasant. Your stomach is going to be happy. I probably the wine, the chocolate, maybe not so much the fast food part. But, I think overall this will be a good night for my stomach. Yeah, this is like a really good bar of chocolate. A little bit too sweet for my taste, honestly. I'm one of the odd Americans out that I really don't like super sweet chocolate. I'm good with like semi-sweet. I don't do like dark, like 80 or 90% cacao. That's too much for me. But like 60 or 70% is my preferred. So this is a little bit too sweet for me. But it's a nice bar of chocolate. Very, very solid. The only issue is it's $16 for a fucking bar of chocolate. So no, I don't think I'll be buying this in the future. Well, maybe once the fad dies down and the local store has too many of these because they didn't sell them, and they knock them down to like $7 or $8, I might snag a few. Also, damn. I suppose the value is not that bad because I've had like 2 pieces out of the bar. I'm finishing piece 2 right now. And that's pretty substantial. I really don't want to eat any more of it right now. I could, and I would like kind of enjoy it, but I am satiated on sweets for the moment. My fingers are sticky as shit right now. God damn it. I had the AC really high too. Or I mean, I had the AC low. Trying to save on heat, or trying to save on utility costs. Chocolate got very melty very quickly. Probably a bad call on my part. Should have kept the house a little bit cooler today. That's fine though. I think that's part of the experience. All right, let's try it with the Coke and wine here. Not as good. Not as good. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not as good. Huh. This has been a very interesting experience so far. Gotta say. Like, it is so much, it is way more phyllo and pistachio cream than it is the chocolate. I think that is the majority of it. But it's nice, though. All right. I'm going to step away for 1 minute and wash my hands. This is really messy. Ah. Oh. Yeah, I'm actually not feeling the Coke and wine on this one. Weirdly enough, yeah, the best pairing out of the things I've had is the McDonald's chicken nuggets with the golden sauce. Okay. So I guess the next thing here. I was gonna do the Posca, which is a Roman. Well, it was referred to as whatever you're trying to push a YouTube video or Instagram clip or whatever, is to call it Roman Gatorade, which is kind of sort of true. But the idea is that you would mix fresh water with typically like vinegar or wine that's turned. Zakuska. I have not heard of that before. Let me look that up. Traditional Romanian and Moldovan vegetable spread. I do not have that in my house, unfortunately. Maybe the World's Food Market might have it. I would have to check there. I will make a note to see if they do have it the next time I'm there. That does look pretty tasty. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do here, because I still have a decent amount of my wine and coke to finish, and I want to finish that first because, again, caffeine. Yeah, I heard that. You might have misheard. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. No, we're gonna be doing Posca. Let me get up a. Let's see here. Well, the images don't really do it justice. Let's. I'll just get one of those like old tile images. It's not really gonna be helpful, but I mean the idea is vinegar, water, spices, honey, you know, other little mix-ins. Yeah, again, it's not super helpful, but that's the idea. So we will do that, but I think what we're gonna do, because I have, like I said, a decent amount of my drink left, and I don't want to be like mixing them here, and I want to just get this finished off, be done with it. We will watch the Tasting History by Max Miller video on Posca and Lardium, and I think he also has one on like hardtack, or not hardtack, but it was like a kind of like a carb-based cracker meal kind of thing that the Romans had as well. We can watch that, give me a chance to finish this off, and then I will make myself a glass of Posca to drink. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Oh, thanks for the lurk, buddy. Much appreciated. All right, there we go. Oh god, this is a mess. There we go. Oh, forgot to do the display capture there for the sound. Hang on. All right, now let's try.
Do you love vinegar? Can't get enough of that pure lard? Then maybe the life of a Roman legionary is for you. Today we'll be making
life for
Posca,
everybody.
the Gatorade of ancient Rome, along with a boiled lard that might have been eaten by Caesar's men just before crossing the Rubicon. Posca and lard, this time on Who Wants to Feed a Legionnaire? Or Tasting History.
I love the showmanship, it's great.
Welcome to Rome Month. I don't know why it's always in an English accent, but, you know, blame Hollywood. Either way, it's 4 weeks of ancient Roman recipes sponsored by the folks at Creative Assembly, as they get ready to conquer Rome once again with Total War, Rome Remastered, out
Boo.
on April 29th.
Fuck Paradox. They haven't made a good game in ages.
So today's video is inspired by your need to keep your Roman army well fed and supplied in the game. And to find out what an ancient Roman army might eat, we turn to the general Avidius Cassius, who commanded his troops to carry no food but laridum ac bucellatum atque acetum, lard, hardtack, and sour wine.
Because they last
And
forever.
that last ingredient, the sour wine or wine vinegar, which is French for sour wine, vin aigre, vinegar, is the main ingredient in Posca. Well, one of them. The other one is water. And since it's basically just water and vinegar, it would make for a pretty short episode. So I'm also going to throw in a recipe from Apicius for boiled lard, so we can cover
course,
two
Apicius.
of the three things. I'm not going to be making the bucellatum or hardtack because I just made that, and I'll put a link to that video in the description. So let us start with the Posca, Whenever I say that, I always think of
Also, an interesting point to make is that those are all very common things, but also chipped beef was a very common food staple if you could get it. Because, of course, when you're talking about animal fats and proteins, those are in higher demand than sour wine and, and the hardtack, their equivalent. But, animal fat was a little bit easier to get, but yeah, chipped beef was very common because could also be preserved in chipped beef. So I'd say those were kind of 4 very common staples. But yeah, I think probably those 3, at least certainly in the time of Caesar, would have been the big staples.
Tosca, my favorite opera, or one of them. And if you've never heard Tosca, you should hear it because it's fantastic and absolutely has nothing to do with what we're talking about today, so that's all I will say about that. Go listen to Tosca. Now, when it comes to a recipe for Posca as drunk by the legions, we don't have one. The closest thing would be what Plutarch said of Cato the Elder when he was fighting in the Punic Wars. Water
Cato
was
the Elder
what he
fighting,
drank
yeah,
on his
fuck him.
campaigns, except that once in a while, in a raging thirst, he would call for vinegar, or, when his strength was failing, would add a little wine. And it's that addition of sour wine or wine vinegar that makes it Posca. But we don't know anything about the ratios of water to the vinegar, or if they ever put anything else in there. Though we can get a glimpse at what maybe they would have done by some much later recipes, but they come from several centuries after the fall of the Western Empire and are mostly used medicinally, except for one in the 6th century that uses it just as an ingredient to put on melon with pennyroyal, but it doesn't tell us how to actually make the Posca. But I am going to read you one of those later medicinal recipes just so you can get an idea of what the concoctions were like. They were all kind of the same ilk. This one is called Lithontrypic Posca, and that means that it had something to do with dissolving kidney stones.
Kidney stones!
The Lithontrypic Posca, of pennyroyal, of mastic, of
There we
parsley
go.
seed,
Get rid of
of
that stupid
dried
bar on the
mint,
bottom there.
of common salt toasted, of coriander seed, of spikenard, of anise, of bishop's weed, of Indian leaf, of white pepper, of the seed of Gromwell, of betony, of fine vinegar. When all are pounded, sifted, and triturated very fine, let them be mixed with vinegar for 3 days, and exposed in the sun for 40 days. It then goes on to have the patient sip this potion in a warm bath. Now, an ancient Roman legionnaire would not have access to almost any of those ingredients, nor would they have access to a hot bath on most days. So we know that they weren't making this. In fact, it's likely that
Yeah, unless you're in that anime, the oh god, what was that called? There's an actual anime about a Roman bath designer that gets transported to modern day Japan. God, what is the name of that? I watched it. It was actually it was fun. Terme Rome. Oh yeah, I gotta be careful about showing pictures on here. There is a lot of naked men in this anime. Yeah, let me see if I can. Oh no, we'll do it later. We'll do it later. I'll post a picture whenever I go back to just doing the just chatting screen. It's a fun, dumb little anime because yeah, it's about this Roman bathhouse designer who, like, every episode has to solve a bathhouse related problem, gets transported to modern Japan, and finds the magic solution because the Japanese are just so cool and enlightened. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you put any thought into it. There's a lot of just dumb contrivances, but it's a dumb fun show. And yeah, there's one where it's like the Roman legionnaires just got through this brutal battle and they're wandering through the desert and it's like, oh, but I would be so much better if I had a hot bath. It's like, I think you have bigger issues there, my man. I think there's way worse things. Also, you're in the desert. You don't need a hot bath. I would imagine a cool dip in a stream would do you wonders, but sure. All right, man.
by the time this recipe was written down, the term Posca had really completely changed to something very different from what the ancient Roman legions were drinking. But we can use it to see maybe what kind of herbs would have gone into it, and so I'm going to add some of those herbs in one version because why not? So for this recipe, what you'll need is a cup of water, a little red wine vinegar, and some optional herbs. I'm going to use spikenard and coriander seed because I had those on hand. Don't use pennyroyal though, because even though you can get it, depending on the person, it could kill you, or at least make you very sick.
What?
Don't use it. I'm also going to add some optional salt. Legionaries pretty much always had access to salt, so it's not odd that they would maybe add it for a little flavor or just as a way to get their salt. But this is a good time to dispel the myth that they were paid in salt. They weren't actually paid in salt, it was part of their ration, but it wasn't a form of payment per se. That idea comes from a mistranslation of Pliny the Elder, who, even when properly translated, should be taken with a grain of salt. Though the word salary does have its roots in the word salt or
That's
salt.
very true, yeah.
And you shouldn't do that today, pay people in salt, because most people won't be happy, especially the IRS. They really don't have a sense of humor about these things. But with the addition of salt, this really does become the ancient Roman Gatorade, albeit with less added sugar and fewer fun colors. So if you're not using any herbs, just mix the ingredients and you're done. But if you are using herbs and salt, go ahead and let them soak for a while before straining them out. Either way, this is definitely the simplest recipe I've ever made. So simple that you really have no excuse not to hit the like button and subscribe unless you don't want to, which I guess would be a valid excuse, but why wouldn't you want to? Now the recipe for lari di cottura, or cooked lard from Dere Coquinaria, is almost as simple, but we will get to that after we look at what a Roman legion might have eaten. It takes supreme skill to subdue an enemy more by famine than by the sword, for in the latter, fortune tends to have more influence than bravery. That was Publius Flavius Vegetius Renatus, and I always get a kick out of how medieval and Renaissance artists would depict ancient Romans wearing the clothes of the medieval or Renaissance.
They
I just think
really
it's funny.
do. Yeah, they really do. That is a big thing. If you go to like a lot of old cathedrals in Europe, you'll see there's one I went to the Netherlands. I believe it was the cathedral in Gouda, which is Gouda. Big old cathedral. I mean, there's bigger ones, but that one's pretty big. And they had each of the stations of the cross, and everyone was in medieval attire. Like, exact medieval attire. They didn't even try to make it look older. It was period clothing to the, the 12th century, I think it was. Maybe the 11th century. I forget when they did the frescoes or whatever they're called. But it's just one of those. It's like, you guys didn't even try. You didn't even think that people had like different clothes from you back in the day. Like, I try not to like make too much fun of like kind of classical thinking, because I actually have a lot of respect for, like, in particular, like ancient medicine. Kind of like the whole idea of like, the humors and the biles, they control you through like, dry and cool, warm and wet, those sort of things. And it's like, you didn't have advanced medical tools. You worked with what you had. And I think that's that there's something that's really fascinating and something that I kind of really respect. But they're artists, man. Art in the medieval age was very lazy and not very good. I'll just go ahead and say that right now. I mean, even though the Enlightenment and the Renaissance, they have their own issues with producing proto-communism, they had good art. The medieval artists, they really didn't try. It's just like, oh yeah, they would look exactly like us. Like, okay. No one's gonna correct you, that's fair. But you didn't think to like look at old manuscripts of like people, wearing togas, where they know they would explain to you the construction of a toga and all the things around. Okay, fine, we're not doing that. All right, fine.
Anyway, Vegetius wrote Dere Militari, which was all about how to run a functioning Roman army. And one of the most important things in the book is on making sure that they're well fed and watered. They should have grain, wine, sour wine, and even salt in plenty at all times. Though the word plenty is rather relative, since a frugal distribution of the provisions will ensure sufficient plenty. When provisions once begin to fail, parsimony is ill-timed and comes too late. Supply chain management and logistics, the backbone of any army even today.
Yeah, goddamn right.
And many armies have been undone by their supply chain or by lack of food and water. Writing about the Second Punic War, Appian says, Hannibal was cut off in the midst of a plain without water and was engaged all night digging wells. His army, by toiling in the sand with great difficulty, obtained a little muddy water to drink. Scipio, mindful of this, moved against them at daybreak while they were exhausted with marching, with want of sleep, and want of water. Hannibal was troubled since he did not wish to join battle in that plight. Yet he saw that if he should remain there, his army would suffer severely from want of water. Well, Hannibal wasn't about to retreat because Hannibal was Hannibal, and so he took his 50,000 men and his 80 elephants, and he fought a battle that he didn't want to fight, and he lost big
Battle of
time.
Zama, baby.
Pretty much ended the Second Punic War on that day. And it was all because, or at least partly because, he had to fight a battle due to a lack of fresh water. All he had was muddy water. And Vegetius says, neither should the army use bad or marsh water, for bad drinking water, like poison, causes disease for the drinkers.
So a minor point on that. That is a very good point, and that's actually one thing I didn't realize was that there was the issue with the muddy water. I would say the bigger issue, potentially, I mean, we'll never know. We're just nerds on the internet here, but I think potentially the bigger issue was the fact that when Hannibal's army arrived, Scipio had already burnt down the Carthaginian base through a little trickery, a little deception. So all their supplies were burnt down to the ground. They had nothing, and there was no way they'd be able to get to the capital city to resupply. So it was fight the battle or don't fight the battle. There was no tactical withdraw and resupply. It's just hang out. So and that's fair. I'm not trying to counter him and say that the water was very important. But they kind of just had to fight the battle no matter what. But yeah, that's sort of one of those interesting things that I think gets lost when it comes to military history, is the appreciation for the finer details of what leads to a series of events to happen, particularly in that military sense of, like, you got a bunch of guys on one side, you got a bunch of guys on the other, and then they slam into each other. It's like, well, but what leads to that? What are the factors that lead to the clash? What are the factors that would allow one army to have an advantage on the other? Say, for example, you have, an army, that's facing the west versus the east, and then the sun rises. And that means that everybody has to charge forward, kind of squinting their eyes a little bit, because they got the sun in their eyes once the sun rises. Or dear God, the archers. Holy shit. I hope you don't expect them to aim properly. Like, that is going to significantly increase the casualties on the side fighting to the sun. And maybe, lead to the archers actually shooting their own guys. Those little things make a huge, huge difference. And so, yeah, that's a really interesting point about the water.
And while wine vinegar is not going to make muddy water potable, it might make somewhat bad water a little bit more drinkable. Also, historians think that the Romans possibly were under the impression that it might help ward off scurvy, because in the Middle Ages, they did think that it warded off scurvy. Europeans did. It doesn't, but they thought it did. So, there you go.
Can't blame a guy for
But
trying.
likely the best reason for having them carry around sour wine is that while wine vinegar doesn't actually hydrate you, in fact, in large amounts it can do the exact opposite, it does slake your thirst. A jar of sour wine was sitting there, so they soaked a sponge in the wine, put it on a stalk of hyssop, and lifted it to his mouth. That is one of several versions of the story where Jesus is up on the cross, and it's usually a Roman soldier who gives him a drink, possibly of posca, in this case with a bit of hyssop. But depending on the version of the gospel that you're reading, it's either seen as an act of mercy or as an act of mockery. In fact, in one version, they add a bit of gall to the vinegar or the posca. And who carries around gall with them? I don't know. I don't think I want to know them. Maybe someone can explain to me why someone would just be carrying that around, kind of demented. But whether good or bad in the Bible, in Roman history, it was always seen as a refreshing thing to drink. Even Roman emperors took up the cup. The Emperor Hadrian, of wall-building renown, famously ate and drank just as his soldiers did. He inspired his soldiers by proofs of his own powers of endurance, actually led a soldier's life, cheerfully ate out of doors on such campfare as bacon fat, cheese, and sour wine. And not to be outdone, the Emperor Caracalla used to eat whatever bread was readily at hand. He would grind enough grain for himself with his own hands and make a barley cake, which he would eat after baking it on charcoal. He claimed that he loved being called a fellow soldier by them instead of the emperor.
Yeah.
Did he though? Because it kind of sounds like when my old boss used to come up and chat with the team. What's up, fellas? How's it going? What's the scuttlebutt? How was the weekend? You can tell me. I know I'm the boss, but come on. We're a team. Yeah, I'm guessing once he got back to Rome, he really preferred being called emperor again. Now, all grain, sour wine, salt, and fat were...
Caracalla, he was a notorious narcissist and killed a bunch of people for making fun of him. In fact, he almost destroyed Alexandria because people put on a mean puppet show about him. So no, that sounds like a historian who had a gun, or rather a gladius, to his throat, and wanted to say nice things about Caracalla, the bitch boy that he was.
The staples of the Roman legion's diet, it's not all that they ate, partly because they often had to provide a lot of their own food. There are stories of towns coming together, trying to get as much food as they can to give to their soldiers before they went off to war whenever a herald would come and announce a conscription. And there's a papyrus fragment from Alexandria, Egypt in the 2nd century. It's a letter from the legionary Claudius Terentianus to his sister. Take every step to supply me with 2 containers of the largest size of olira and an artab of radish oil, like a care package when you go to camp. Also, food got better when you were in foreign territory because Roman legions were not above pillaging. Cestius sent out a great many of his soldiers into neighboring villages to take up their grain. There are numerous mentions of troops living abroad after something has been conquered where they're living it up, but the best written one is actually a Greek source, so forgive me for using a Greek source, but it's just so good. Xenophon made a round of the villages. At each place he would visit the troops stationed there, and everywhere he found them being well entertained in merrymaking. There was no place where they did not serve on the same table lamb, kid, pork, veal, poultry, and many loaves of bread, some of wheat and some of barley. And whenever a man might wish to drink to another's health, he would drag him to the big bowl of wine, and when there, he must duck his head and take a long pull, gulping greedily like an ox. Those crazy Greeks. But if things ever got a little too out of hand, they got a little too lackadaisical, there was always some stick-in-the-mud general coming around to put an end to the party. In the 2nd century BC, Scipio, now this is a different Scipio than Scipio Africanus who fought Hannibal, but a general all the same, he went to Spain to restore order. When he arrived, he drove out all traders and harlots and the soothsayers and the diviners. He also ordered all wagons and their superfluous contents to be sold, and all pack animals. For cooking utensils, it was only permitted to have a spit, a brass kettle, and a single cup. Their food was limited to plain boiled and roasted meats. They were forbidden to have beds, and Scipio was the first to sleep on straw. Those who had servants to bathe and anoint them were ridiculed by Scipio, who said that only mules having no hands need others to rub them.
She is really a party pooper.
Then there was General Gaius Marius, whose troops were known as Marius's mules because he forced them all to carry their own food in a bundle on their back. And while surely it wasn't pleasant to march around with all of your meager foods on your back, it wasn't a punishment, it was just as a way to keep the army lean. But food could be used as a punishment. Augustus dismissed the entire 10th Legion in disgrace, without the rewards of which would have been due for faithful service. If any cohorts gave way in battle, he decimated them and fed the rest on barley. So yeah, you got barley instead of wheat. And Polybius says the public humiliation for receiving barley rations is best calculated to inspire fear. It's a mighty strong feeling to have about a grain, especially when you kind of gloss over the first part of the punishment, which was decimation or decimatio. That's when all of the men would draw lots and 10% of them would suffer fustuarium, or being beaten to death with sticks. I'll take the barley, thank you. But not today. No barley for me. No, it's just posca and lard, enough to keep any Roman soldier up and running. Just like those that you'll be commanding in the PC strategy game Total War Rome Remastered.
We get it, we get it.
So the recipe for our lard, or lardo, comes from Apicius and says, cooked lard. Boil covered in water with plenty of dill. Drizzle a little oil and a little salt. So all you need is some Italian lardo, or smoked fatty pork. You'll often see it translated as bacon, but it is not bacon like Americans know bacon, or anyone knows bacon. It's pretty much just pure fat. A bunch of dill, olive oil, and salt. Add the dill to a pot of boiling water and then add in your lard and cook for 5 to 7 minutes or until it's nice and soft. Then slice, drizzle with olive oil, sprinkle with salt, and serve. Here we are, posca and lari di cottura. Here we go. That ain't half bad. It's actually really good. So it's quite salty because it's been cured, which it probably would have been at the time. And I don't really like the texture because it's fat,
Yeah, just pure fat.
but the flavor is really nice. It kind of tastes like bacon. I don't really get the dill. Maybe a little bit. It's good. What it doesn't need is added oil. Like, who thought, you know what this piece of fat needs? Some liquid fat drizzled on top. Well, whoever wrote De Coquinaria, who might have been Apicius, he thought that, but I don't think that. Let's try the posca. So I actually have 2 glasses of posca. I have the one with no herbs and no salt, and then the one with herbs and salt. I only have one of these cool little cups, so instead I got a fancy glass. So I'll try this one first. Definitely smells like vinegar. It's actually not bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want a bunch of it, but it's actually kind of nice. What does it remind me of? It's like a sour fresca or something like that without the bubbles. It's like, it's sour, but it's not overwhelmingly sour. Let's try it with the herbs. I actually really like that. Again, I'm not gonna want like a glass of it, but I wouldn't turn it down. You can really taste I think it's the spikenard that I'm tasting. And if you don't know what spikenard is, then you don't know what I'm talking about, but you should order some because it has a really interesting flavor and interesting scent. It's usually used as incense. It was actually one of the things that like Mary Magdalene put on Jesus's feet and hair. It's got like a woodiness to it, almost like the smell of aspen. You know what aspen trees kind of have that clean woodiness to it, and it cuts the tartness of the vinegar. And again, we don't know how much vinegar they would have used. Maybe they used a ton of vinegar and I would just spit it out, but I used a fair amount, enough to color it pretty pink, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So one more thing about the history of posca, it was also often sold on streets in Roman towns, and Suetonius writes a story of the Emperor Vitellius coming across one such seller of posca. This fellow had immoral relations with Vitellius in his youth, but later grew weary of him and ran away. When Vitellius came upon him selling posca at Puteoli, he put him in irons, but at once freed him again and made him his favorite. His vexation was renewed by the man's excessive insolence and thievishness, and he sold him to an itinerant keeper of gladiators. And I tell you this because the rather interesting Emperor Vitellius is the subject of next week's video, where we will be making Vitellian peas. So make sure to join me next Tuesday for our continuation
The
of
Emperor Vitellius
Rome Month.
is
Again,
something.
English, not sure why, on Tasting History.
Yeah, Emperor Vitellius was legendary for being a big old fatterson who ate the empire into destitution. I'm gonna knock these down. I just realized my PNG wasn't showing up there. Oops. There we go. I'm back. All right. Let's see here. So I think we will conclude here because I was just gonna do a little shorter stream tonight. We will do the posca here. So if you want to give me 1 minute, I will grab the necessary ingredients, and I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. This particular vinegar is actually Roman vinegar. It is. God, what's this got in here? 1 second. I had to get a corkscrew because this has a cork top here. So you actually have to get a wine bottle opener to open it. It is very fancy vinegar. Ooh, oh, that's nice. Yeah, this ain't no red wine vinegar. This is some good shit. Although it is very, ooh yeah, very pleasant. This is Roman-style vinegar infused with honey, white wine vinegar, honey, herbs, spices, Coolerant caramel. What the fuck is Coolerant? Product of South Africa. Interesting. Yeah, let me get a picture of this. My lens may need clearing. Nah, the lens is fine. All right, yeah, let's clear the mess here. There we go. Yeah, you can see what it looks like there. All right, let's just do. Yeah, we're not gonna do a crazy pour on this one here because I do actually have to drink all of this. Let's do 100 milliliters of that and 100 of the water. I think that'd be good. Well, that has a interesting color. Yeah, let's get a picture of that too. Why not? Why not? Pictures of everything. All right, let's give it a shot here. Let's give it a shot. Ooh. Ooh. It's definitely still vinegar. Definitely still vinegar. I think I prefer to have slightly more water than the vinegar. That is pleasant, though. Let's do a little bit more water there. Okay, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, you're probably going to have a hard time finding that brand because I think they went out of business a long time ago. Technically, this vinegar expired like a decade ago, but it's vinegar, so it doesn't expire. That's what vinegar is. But yeah, pretty tasty overall. Not bad. Not a bad way to end this. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm kind of at the end of I think I'm at the end of my food and drink selection here. Went by a little bit faster than I thought it was going to. But yeah, let's see here. See what we can rate out to. Yeah, a little bit of a shorter stream than I intended, but yeah. Put out the raid message. All right, I think we're going to rate out to Tenchi Morningstar here. So thanks so much, guys. I will let you know what the schedule is for next week because I'm gonna be collabing with a few people and we're kind of figuring things out. So you guys have a good one.